Number one.
Well, good afternoon. This is Lou Baker at Radio Tribune here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are located at 717 South 9th Street. That's at the corner of 9th and Charleston. Big red numbers on the little building. Now, don't get it confused. I didn't say big building, little numbers. Big red numbers on the little building. Now, this is a quiz, so make sure that you pay attention. Now, I want to remind you that here at the Las Vegas Tribune, we are also a paper, well, not really paper. We are an internet provider of news, and we do that once a week. It's released on Wednesday, full of good, valuable information that you should pay attention to because we do some really controversial things. Today, we have several people here, and this is going to be called Correspondent Combat. And I'm going to introduce my guest today. Our guest today, there's actually four of us here. Two of us want to be one side, two of us want to be the other side. And I'm not sure which side is going to be which side, but that's the way it is. Ed Ewing here. Ed used to have a show here with us at this station. The Tribune. Well, it's always been the Tribune. The only thing that's changed is the location. But we've come up with a better location. We're really close and convenient, and that's why we asked you to come in and participate with us at 717 South 9th Street. So Ed Ewing, and Ed, please just tell them a little bit about yourself so that we can, I'm going to do the same thing with Rolando and Monica. So just a quick capsule bit of information about your background and your beliefs. The beliefs are more important than the background.
Well, those are very complicated. They'll come out in the conversation. I'm a long-time resident of Las Vegas, 74 years. And
how many years?
74 years.
You don't look that old.
Oh, well, thank you. Flattery will get you everywhere. So, I'm basically an agitator with the government, I think.
You're an agitator?
I would say so. At least the government official thinks so.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. And I'm going to introduce Rolando Lazarus. He is
Rolando Lazarus.
No, I said that on purpose.
Oh,
I know he did.
Oh, okay. The reason for that is, you remember Lazarus in the Bible?
No.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
Oh, he died. You see,
That was before my time.
he was all covered up, rags and so forth, and Jesus came in and made him rise for them from the dead. That's what happened with Lazarus. And so that's why I used that name. So Rolando has a long history, especially here in Las Vegas with the Las Vegas Tribune. He's seen the good times and the bad times, and believe me, we're up and down just like anybody else. Rolando, would you like to add something to that, your political information, for example?
Yes, I am a long-time resident of Las Vegas. I'm copying from my friend Ed Ewing. I'm an agitator also, and I think I'm the only one that held the honor of being thrown out of the city hall. And I don't know what I am, Republican or whatever it is, but nobody likes what I am, so it doesn't make any
Well, it doesn't make any difference. You know, people like and dislike people, and everybody's got their own opinion, but guess what? That's all they're entitled to, is an opinion. That doesn't mean anything to you or to me.
I love Las Vegas, and I want to keep this city to be the best city of them all.
That's, I think, what we all have in mind here, and that's really part of what this program is all about. Now, our other guest today is Monica Lewinsky.
No, it's not exactly
Oh,
true.
well, I got a lot of Richard and Monica Lewinsky. But Monica, no, I know it's not Monica Lewinsky.
It's Lenoir.
But anyway, Monica has been in radio and television for some time, and she has even created her own television show through the Nevada Broadcasting Company. She's the first one, I think, or the first woman, one of the two. And Monica, why don't you explain a little bit about that so that we can get moving in this controversial debate?
Okay, so basically, I went to the United Nations, got there, understood that there are so many people from all over the world who at least needed a voice to speak. So I knew when I got back to Nevada, I could compete with traditional media, and by me understanding that and not being able to compete, and I mean on a monetary level, you know, have millions and millions of dollars with television. I thought to myself, well, I still have a problem to solve, right? So I decided that I would build online TV stations. I built my first distribution station, which is networknevada.tv, and then that prompted me after going up to Carson City and sitting in the room with the people who own the TV stations and things like that. I said, well, you know what, I'm going to really have to compete. So I came back and I built out another 10,000 distribution stations so that going into the future, I would be short of helping people to get their voice and the message across the world. And I figure the internet is mass media, you know, it's not centralized. So I thought to myself, well, you know what? If I take a video and I put it on all 10,000 stations, that increases the chance of that video being seen and shared.
Well, you're absolutely right about the internet, and the good part about the internet is we don't have to deal with paper, we don't have to deal with recycling the paper, and we're saying, you know, we're helping the environment, if nothing else, as well as the economy, because people who like to read newspapers, knowing that they can get the same information or more on the internet, should switch and save the money and also the environment.
We did that.
Yeah.
Yes, and so my name is Blue Laker. That's my radio name, and my real name is Lou Baker. Now I'll say that again: Blue Laker, Lou Baker. You figured it out? Well, okay, if you didn't figure it out. Bottom line is this, folks: I'm the only one in town who's ever led 5,000 people down the Las Vegas Strip, and I did that because my children were being forced to go to the West Side. Now, you would say, well, what's wrong with the West Side? Well, nothing today, but it used to be 50 years ago. Oh, I know, I'm giving up letting you know a little bit about my age. The bottom line is this: my kids only had a block to go to school. I objected to the fact that they wanted to send them to the West Side for 4 years, and I started with the neighbors knocking on doors, and I wound up having meetings at Denny's and other places. We wound up having a rented building, and we wound up meeting at the convention center, and from the convention center we marched down the Las Vegas Strip. From there we went to the U.S. Senate and we lobbied, and we got it reduced to 1 year instead of 4. So I also have run for Congress, and I've also run for the Senate here in Nevada. So these are part of what I've done. I've had the Las Vegas Junior Ski Club, the largest ski club, junior ski club in Nevada, and I ran the Las Vegas JC Ski School, and I was an executive director with the Las Vegas JC. A long time ago. Been married, divorced, 3 children, 6 grandchildren. And
Marrying again?
not yet.
How many times you been married?
Oh, just 3.
Just 3?
Oh yeah, my buddy's been married 7 and looking at number 8.
Yes.
Already?
My late brother was married 3 times.
Well, listen, I enjoy the company of women, and I didn't.
Yeah, but you need to get married to enjoy the company?
No,
Oh.
I'm kind of picky, you know what I mean? If I can't lift them, I don't want them.
I'm out.
Well, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I feel like a man has to protect his woman or wife, you know, girlfriend, whatever, and they need to be able to work in an emergency. And I don't want to be the one that can't lift somebody to get them to the doctor or whatever.
Well,
And
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
over here in this company, we don't allow people that work here to have a relationship, male, female, male as male, or whatever the situation is.
When did that all really change?
Because you will not be able to lift this young lady over here. She's taller than you.
I would try. I would try, and probably under pressing
You wouldn't even be able to lift her.
Ed? Yeah, sure I could. I do weigh 200 pounds, and I'm 6'1", and
How tall are you, Ed?
6'1".
6'1"?
I could lift him and throw him on my back and carry him wherever needed. So the point is, though, that a quick story. I was coming down Charleston, and I went to my wholesale bread, at Charleston and something, okay? And I noticed something underneath the sign, and it was a woman. She was bobbing up and down like this. This happened last Sunday, by the way. And she was bobbing up and down, and she tried to get up and couldn't get up, and was still bobbing up and down. And finally, she laid down, but she was laying down like in the curb cut behind the Wholesome sign. And the bottom line is that she was in trouble. So I called 311. They came and they got her and took care of her. I don't know what the conditions were, but that's the kind of thing that we have to do as human individuals. And you know, Jesus, well, I'm trying to think if it was Jesus that on his way, a Samaritan, and there was somebody got robbed, and Samaritan stopped by and gave him clothes and so forth, took him to the inn, paid for his, you know, and then told him if he needed anything, he'd be back and he'd take care of it, and told the innkeeper the same thing. That's the kind of attitude that we need here in the United States. That's the kind of attitude we need in our political system, and we're not getting it. And so today, I want everybody to be able to voice their opinion about either what's good or what's bad and what we need to change. So Ed, since you were the first to be introduced, we're going to have you go with it.
As to what we need to do?
Yes.
Oh, Nevada needs to, here in the state of Nevada, we need to grab control of our resources, our land, our gold, our water, and work with our people so that we create this prosperous environment.
The prosperity, yes.
And the federal government is keeping us poor.
Yeah. Would you like to comment on that, Rolando?
Yes, I agree with what Ed said, and I, for the first time in my life, look at that.
Wow.
You know, I believe we need to take control of what we have, what we rightfully own. I believe that, and I think we need to stop being two faces. We need to be more honest with each other and work together. I believe that would be a very good
Start?
start.
Monica, add to that.
I'm going to ask you to repeat the question.
The question is, what do you believe is necessary for us here in Nevada or as a nation to move forward to get away from all the bickering of all the distractions to make the country and even Nevada safer and sound?
Well, you know, I think being American in this country, we have to all begin to understand what that means, right? First, it's going to start with us taking a mirror and putting it on ourselves, and I mean on ourselves as a nation, right? And if we could start there, we can begin to acknowledge the wrong things that we have done as a country. And then, because we are globalized now, you know, we're a global nation. We were global before, but it's more apparent now because most of our finances are mixed in with other countries and things like that. So we have to understand what America has grown to be today. And when we do get a chance to understand that, and everybody can take a seat and step back and then look inward, then we're going to be able to figure out what problems we need to start solving first. So first, we have to look in the mirror at America in order to understand who we are today.
Well, I look in the mirror all the time and I say, God, there's so much you can do with every face. Well, that being the case, you know, it shouldn't be a problem, you know, because I can't change the way I am, the way I look, the way I smell. That's just me. But getting back to this, the whole thing is that we start acting as a nation, and the key word is nation, and we become a nationalist. You see, there's two kinds of people. As far as democracy is concerned, we have those for socialism, and we have those who are nationalists, who think of their nation, and there is their nation, and we have to take it back. And because of that, we need to take some extreme measures that we might not ordinarily do.
Who are we taking it back from?
Well, who are we taking
So
it back?
yeah, because like yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get opinions as who we're taking it back from, but Ed, you're first.
Well, I agree, we have to take it back from the federal government, from the government of Washington, which was supposed to be a limited government, which is turned into a central government, with controlling everything, and so if that means dropping out of the union, that's what we should do. They've totally ripped up the Constitution. It's meaningless that we allow police to just steal things from people and take it for their police department.
Would you say that subsidies are a form of theft?
Subsidies?
Subsidies.
Anything that you give people of other people, where you take money from one person and give it to another person, including especially big corporations, but also welfare and all these other programs that really destroy people's well-being. The government has no business in doing that. People have business doing that with each other. Yes.
Rolando, okay, could you describe why, what Ed was saying, what other forms of corruption are going on relative to financing? Financing is a major key in the development of a nation. And I'm going to give you just an example of why. All right, if I go down and I buy a car and I pay cash for it, I'm going to save some money because I paid cash because they want my cash, right? So,
well, sometimes they do. Sometimes what they make money on is the interest, the loan.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's the thing. If you're saving, you're saving that money. Yeah. It's an expense that you don't have to endure, and that's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm asking Rolando the same question. When we provide these subsidies to people who don't have the cash, but they're taking our money, is that the same thing as?
Can you give me an example of what you say?
What I was saying was, I used the reference of a car, where you can go down and pay cash for it, you're saving the interest, and you're getting a price discount because you paid the cash, okay?
Right.
But you had the cash to give to them. Now, on the other side, when people take the subsidies, they don't have the cash, but they're getting the same benefits. Is that fair to you as
I don't think so. Do you, Ed?
No, of course not.
Yeah, I look at it a lot differently. I look at it because not everybody's in a position to pull out X amount of dollars and buy something. And our nation, look at the credit card debt alone. Our nation have become a consumer nation, which is part of the problem. And we are all borrowing in some kind of form or fashion, whether it's your house, whether it's your car, whether it's a credit card, whether it's such, those things there where we are paying interest, it still helps out the economy, maybe not the small guy, maybe the business owner or the person, the merchant who owns that company or the finance company who's financing your car. But without that finance company, you don't have that car. Without that mortgage company, you don't have that house, right? I don't know if most of America is able to walk in and buy a house for $260,000 or $180,000. I don't believe that. I was a debt collector. So, and I went to school and studied business admin/finance, and we have become a nation of borrowing. The days when the baby boomers were really at the height, because I will say this, they were the ones who pushed the production in this country, and this country is what it is today because that generation woke up and it was so many, 65 million at one time, coming out of the gates and owning businesses and working and, the factories and all that stuff. But once Generation X and the millennials, which is my generation, once we came in, it's a whole different ballgame. You got technology and all these things which are requiring us to spend differently rather than, having the money under the mattress. There is no money under the mattress anymore. It's in the bank. You have to borrow. You think I could go to my school and just go to school and somebody's going to pay me more than $10 an hour while I'm in school and me be able to live in an apartment, even if it's the cheapest apartment and I'm paying $450 a month, be able to get to school and have all these have what I need to successfully complete school without me being able to borrow money, or even not possible.
Well,
Not possible.
there are two things I would say about that. I think you're totally correct. We've become a consumer-oriented economy, and we count a consumer spending exactly the way we count production. It's just so incredible that our GMP is so distorted. The GMP of China is 70 production and 30 consumption. Ours is 70 consumption and 30 production. Well, what does that consumption consist of? Buying a good in China for $1 and selling it here for $8 or $10 or $5. And then the $5, the Chinese GMP only goes up $1. The American GMP goes up $5. It's a total fiction. It's a total lie. It's not. So we're not a nation of production, and we've lost that knowledge. And as far as the individuals are concerned, the reason no one has any money is they're not producing what people want.
Absolutely.
And our country isn't producing what people want.
And all those factories over in the other countries, I get it. At one point, to put those factories there, it would be an incentive for the business owner. He probably made a lot more money. But now America is now suffering is suffering because of it. And I hate
suffering because of what?
The fact that we have put all the businesses, our factories and stuff over in other countries.
We didn't put them over. They were driven out. They were driven out by the labor unions.
And I mean, that's very, very possible. Very, very, it could be from your point of view. It could look that way. But here's what I'm saying: because all of those places went there, we have less jobs here. So people forget about that. When you build a factory in another country, in another place, that's one less job for an American. And I'm not saying that I'm against that, because now America's globalized and feeding other nations, right?
No, I am against that.
No, I mean, well, here's what I will say. Well, when you pick up your phone, your Samsung, or your iPad, or your computer, and it's made in China, you didn't say, let me buy an American computer. You didn't care. You just wanted what you wanted. Okay,
no, people buy on the basis of price.
Let me
buy on the basis of price, and how do we get that price low?
How do they get it low? By having people go to work and do something.
No, but not here in America. Because the cost of living in America requires for you to have a job.
That's the wrong way to look at it. That's looking at things backwards.
Let me give you a good example. I am with T-Mobile. I call T-Mobile and I ask, where are you? I'm in the Philippines, sir. Okay, thank you. Hung up before. I called back and said, where are you? I'm in Panama City. Okay, thank you. And I hung up. Until I don't get somebody in Virginia or North Carolina or any place else, I do not talk. And I explained that to them. I said, I don't have any problem with people making a living. It's just that the unemployment line is still very long in this country.
Well,
we need to feed the people in this country before we feed anybody else. And I know you and I don't agree.
And it's 49 million people who are on the poverty list or on SSI and all of those things. 49 million people.
I believe charity is
and why are they on that poverty list? Because the government gave them money. And so the whole rest of their life is about getting more money from the government.
Okay, so do you have a solution? Are you creating a business for people to work? Are you just talking and saying what you do like or you don't like? Are you creating businesses? Are Americans creating businesses? Are there that provide products that people want?
No, we're not.
I told you.
Thank you. This is what I'm saying. We have to.
What? But it's the government that keeps it from generating businesses.
And also,
it takes forever to get a business license. You have to go through all these steps and all these approvals and all these taxes.
That is not necessarily true. You can actually just go on the internet, go to the Secretary of State, fill out your business application, and
And
Boom.
pay $500.
And pay $500. You got to
Invest
invest in
$200.
yourself. You have to invest. You have to, if you invested almost $2 million into your paper, why did you do it? Because you believed in it. So if you believe in something, you're going to invest in it.
No, I invested because I'm stupid. That's why.
No, because right today, you're able to give people a voice. You've been around 20 years. You're able to give people a voice. So the effort that you put forward, hopefully you have someone in place that can continue that effort. But you didn't, it wasn't all in vain.
Let me tell you, let me give you a good example with Mail by Rene. We had, you saw that, almost 14 trucks in there. What happened now? The city want me to get a zoning change that cost me $1,500.
That's just that's just to ask for it.
With
Go
no,
to the county attorney,
with no,
all the other studies. Wait until you see the
So
studies.
too much regulation.
no, $1,500 with no guarantee that they will change the zoning. And on top of that, the $1,500 is not refundable. I have to have the trucks hiding in someplace else because the city don't let me even put a sign.
That's the way. That's right.
That's the way it
So
is.
you're saying government is the issue or why we
No,
are in
the
this
city of
issue?
Las
But
Vegas.
it's still government. It's local
It's
government.
the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, the government.
But
At
you
all
don't
levels.
I told them this was correspondent combat.
You don't find that in the county as bad. It is bad.
It is.
Okay.
It is bad, right?
Yes. It's
Yeah, but no.
And there's no,
I mean-
in that business particularly, there's no way for you to send that business over to China or put it in
Let me
another
tell you,
place to
let
get
me
cheaper
tell you,
labor
my
or
neighbor-
cost or anything.
My neighbor, that woman worked like I don't know, like an animal. She's working since she come in until she leave. Work. They make Bob Coffin, the city council on Ward 3, make her take the signs out from the wall that she's paying rent for because he doesn't like signs in the buildings. That is unfair. That woman is losing money. She's paying $5,000 rent.
1,000 businesses a day are created in the United States.
Yeah, but how many
Wait, let me finish. Wait, just a minute. One moment. 30 years ago, 2,000 jobs were created, 2,000 businesses were created every day. In China, 10,000 businesses are created every day. In the city of Shenzhen, 1 out of every 7 people owns their own business.
Do you know what the number is?
The government is
There's
destroyed
27 million, according to the U.S. Census.
Yes.
Okay, but this is a 2013 statistic. There's 27 million businesses in America. Okay, 21 million of those businesses are self-employed businesses. Okay, so
You mean one employee? No employees.
No employees,
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
So that would mean that in America, the majority of business owners are mostly self-employed. You know, the way of the American life, I do believe is supposed to be capitalist. You know, we all are supposed to be thinking on that level where we have ownership. However, I think we've transitioned in thought away from that, and we're looking for people to work for. And that has also caused a problem.
Exactly.
It has also caused
Everyone thinks we have to get a job, and you have to give us a job.
I'd like to answer her original question, which was basically what do you see as changing the status quo? So I'm going to answer that. Okay, it's real simple. It is something that I had put in writing a long time ago, and it's something that Donald Trump has just recently done, but didn't make sense when he first heard it, because he reduced taxes. Now, when he reduced taxes, then some of the larger corporations were able to pay their employees more money. They gave them bonuses and the like, okay? And so what I have suggested is that in Nevada and other places, in order to do several things, take people off subsidies, number 1, get them off the poverty level, number 2, number 3, make them taxpayers. Now, when you stop and think about that all happening at the same time, And what do you need to do that?
Yeah.
You need to give them a raise. You need to give a raise to $15 an hour. That's the starting point. And the reason for that is very, very simple.
That's insane.
No.
I don't agree with that.
No. My turn to talk. It's
No,
not.
well, you can't talk on your program.
It's my turn to talk. The bottom line is this. The reason you do that is very simple. Because there are companies right now who are who are having to pay for their insurance for their employees. Half of the money goes, they have to pay half, and the employee has to pay half. All right? Now, if you do what I said, $15 an hour, and you get these people out of the poverty level, and they have more money, if they go from $8 to $15 an hour, it's almost double. Okay? And you're saying, well, we can't get out, I can't go to school, I can't do this. So, well, wait a minute. Now, if you say there's 2 or 3 people in a family, or 1 or 2, I don't care which numbers you want to use. The bottom line is this: if you have 2 people in the family and they both get raised up to $15 an hour from that, they have more income and they can pay for their own insurance.
Okay, what about people on welfare?
Whoa. If they're going to come off welfare because they're no longer in the poverty level.
How
$15 is
like,
probably.
no, but what I'm saying is, how are you going to come, the people who are at home receiving welfare, are you going to give them a job that's $15 an hour? You got to first find millions of people a job to give them the $15 an hour.
No, they have
to.
Let me address that, okay? We're going to give them jobs. We're going to make them have jobs because there's no reason for them to get off welfare now if they're getting that much money every week for doing nothing.
What I think is they should work for the welfare.
Well,
they should work. If you're going to receive a check at home, you should work. There's a way that they can work for that particular money.
Now, you're not going to like this, what I'm going to say, but you're going to hear it anyway, okay? There's another reason for this, okay? I want to get people off of welfare. That's the first thing. I want to get people off the poverty list so that we in America can say we don't have a poverty level anymore because we've taken care of it. Now, it's true. There's going to be certain people that can't walk, whichever, that are entitled to the benefits that we offer, to those people. Because we don't let people just die on the street, generally speaking. The point is that
we don't.
Well, I may say we're doing
Have you seen all the homeless people?
Yes, we have.
Do you know what goes on in Los Angeles?
You haven't read the Las Vegas Tribune, right?
Oh,
Every week, I put 2 pictures of different locations, and especially World War and World 3, where the homeless are piled in one corner, sleeping there, and the government do nothing to get those people out of there.
Okay, well, you didn't let me finish, but I had addressed that too. Remember, I did run for Congress and I did run for Senate. There was a reason why. Because I wanted to take care of these situations, all right? And I felt that I couldn't do anything as a private citizen, so therefore I thought if I could get into the legislative, I could at least address them and make people hear and make them understand why we're doing this.
And so what?
Huh?
Why?
Well, I'm just getting to that. Down on 9th Street, or not 9th Street, but 8th Street and down, towards Owen and all that, we all know what that is. It's Drifter's Alley is what it is, the Drifter Alley. And those people, they've been here for years and years and years. Now, I made this statement 6 or 8 years ago when I was running for the state. And the bottom line was I said, we need to put these people together, give them the opportunity of going to a park that's called Drifter Park, where they can receive all the services they need and they have a chance for rehabilitation if they want it. There's some people that it doesn't make any difference what you do, they ain't going to do it. They're just not going to do it. They want to sleep on the ground, they want to sleep. It's really incredible.
There's already Drifters Park over there. The Catholic Charities is right around the corner from where they're
But they're not doing the same thing. I'm saying all the facilities, medical facilities, psychiatric facilities, everything under one roof with people who want to be police officers going in there for their training because that's what they need to deal with first. They need to understand the needs of these people and they need to deal with it in an intelligent way. And by having Drifters Park, which is separate, all of a sudden North Las Vegas and Las Vegas are coming together on a common cause and eliminating nobody wants to buy a business down there on Main Street now. Why? Because of what's there.
Okay.
Okay?
No.
Okay, so, but I'll finish up in 1 second. The bottom line is this. By doing what I've said, you have not only increased the revenue to these people, but you've added them to the tax base.
You've given them the false idea that they're worth $15 an hour. A lot of people don't produce $15 an hour.
Very
They
true.
produce $5 an hour.
Oh my God, this is so true.
All right,
And so, this idea that the government can create prosperity by making a
Let me
declaration.
tell you
Why
why.
is the minimum wage
Down, boy, down, boy, down, boy.
What will happen? You make this $15 an hour, and I will say, okay, that's fine. I pay you $15 an hour, but I let him off and let her off.
Yeah, well, that's your prerogative as they okay, but the reason for that, you didn't hear the rest of the story. The rest of the story is real simple. By the employer paying $15 an hour, he gets a tax credit. So he benefits, the employee
He gets a
benefits.
tax deduction, not credit.
Well, he can get a tax deduction or a tax credit.
No, there's
No,
no
it's
difference.
the same thing.
I know there are two different systems, okay? Tax credits, you get it all back, okay? Tax deduction, and sometimes one is better than the other depending on the circumstances. That's not the issue. The issue is that what you're trying to do is you're trying to improve the economy, give those people the opportunity of being able to buy cars, get an education, or do whatever the hell they want to.
Lou, let me explain this.
This is a utopia.
You have to wait until the end of the year to get the tax credit.
Yeah.
Some
No, no,
some
Now,
businesses don't make enough money to pay 3 people $45 an hour.
I'm telling you, Roland, you can get it now. There are cash incentives that are tax incentives that you can take that money cash right now. Get it
And
back.
how are those incentives created? By the government borrowing money. The government is a beggar just as much as all of us people
You
are
see what
beggars.
I'm saying? We're all borrowing.
This is the biggest beggar country in the history of
We
the
have a
world
compact.
by mountains. It owes more money than the next 10
Are you doing 1 hour?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Okay.
Why? Why? Because this is different. This is
No,
correspondent.
I'm glad.
Correspondent combat.
I'm glad because that's another $25 for me.
And then you know what? You can take that and pay somebody 15 according to what he's saying.
Okay, here's what I'm saying, that it has worked with Donald Trump. He's already shown the results, and I'm saying we can do the same thing if we...
How is he showing the
Why?
results?
Yeah.
Wait. If we treat who puts people to work? The employer. So why shouldn't we give it to somebody
The
else?
entrepreneur. But there's no incentive for employers. There's only incentive for thieves in the banks, in the stock market, in government. Government employees are the biggest thieves in the world. The country is going to go bankrupt just dealing with the pensions. Every government in the country is going bankrupt, just dealing with the pensions of the public employees. You let those people in the door, and they run away with your whole.
Do you
with
think
everything.
that they don't deserve it? You
Not-
give
not
like 20, 30 years of
I
your
don't-
life to
I don't-
a organization and you walk away with a pension? Do
No.
you think people don't deserve it?
They work 20 years, okay, and then that's 4,000 hours, 40,000 hours of work, and then they make this tiny payment in order to buy another 5 years, so they get 25 years of retirement pay.
But remember,
And
you
then
keyword,
they
you said
get
they make a
100
payment, right?
What?
You said keywords. You said they make a payment. So they're paying into a system to get out of that system later, maybe a little bit more than what they paid in.
But that's not the issue. The issue is that person who's worked 20 years, he's now 38 years old, 48 years old, and he retires for life with the public pensions. They're retiring on $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month.
Well, we can't help that science and technology has advanced the world so much that people are living longer. You know, I'm sure that was not expected when you back
But
then.
how can you pay a government employee $2 or $3 or $4 million in their lifetime when all the people in this neighborhood, hardly anyone will make $1 million a year in their lifetime? How are you going to force those people to pay those people that are making $1 million to pay these people over here just because they got a government job, $4 or $5 million?
But that's not the root of the problem. You're not addressing
Well, it's not the root of it.
It's one of the
symptoms.
Yeah, it's one of the symptoms.
Well,
That's one of the
I want to
symptoms.
It's robbery. Everyone is scheming.
Just a second, okay, for the simple fact that the retirement benefits are not all the same. Some of them are much, much different. I'll give you a perfect example. I have a friend, he was a captain in the fire department, and when he originally retired, he was getting $4,000 a month. Guess what? Now he's getting $7,800. Why? Not because of the government, but because they had a financial advisor who was able to invest that money, and so
No.
$7,800 a month?
That's
fire?
it's true. I live with the guy.
Well, there's no the investments are making 2, 3, 4%. Now with the stock market, they've gone crazy and they're doing very well. But most of those investments, what's happening is the government is pouring
I didn't
money.
say all of them. I said this particular one. It's handled by the whoever they are. They have an administrator who's been investing their money, and wisely, obviously, because it went from $4,000 to almost $8,000.
No, what these government agencies are doing is paying these pensions and giving false reports about how the status of what money is left. Like the water authority, they have 1,000 employees that are on pensions. And their wages are in the stratosphere. The average wage at the water department is like $120,000 a year.
Usually,
And so,
when the company picks up,
so what they do, they only have $300 million in their pension fund. That's not enough. But they come to the report and say, oh, we have enough in our pension fund. Well, if the water authority went out of business tomorrow, they wouldn't have nearly enough money in them, and none of these pensions have enough money. They're underfunded at least 50%, at least. And who's going to come and rescue them? The taxpayers, the people that make $1 million in their life.
This is all based on production.
It isn't based on production. It's
It
based on thievery.
actually, he's right. It is based on production. If that account
Financial advisor.
if that account is producing, people will come out in the long run over 20, 30 years. But you gotta remember, they're giving up something. That might be that extra $200 or $300 out of their paycheck could have went to their child's tuition or their grandkids' tuition. Instead, they put it into a financial account. So I know plenty of financial advisors, plenty of them who are great at giving people directions on how they should do their finances for if they want something in the next 20, 30, 40 years. There are lots of accounts that you could, like I could invest in accounts that would earn 17%. But guess what? On the flip side, the risk is just as great. But you gotta be aware that we are not being taught I went to all girls Catholic school. It wasn't necessarily taught to me about my finances while I was in school. I was basically told to get out of school, and when I got out of school, find somebody to work for, and hopefully somebody will give you a job. But now, after I got older, I sat down with financial advisors. As a matter of fact, I decided to go to school and learn about finance so I could have a better understanding of how money works, period. And that kind of understanding changed. Even though my environment, I wasn't taught young about these things or in school, later in life, I started to look at things a lot differently. So when you talk about when you blame government or say people get their pensions, I don't agree with you on that. But what I do see is where you make the point that there are people out in the world who are not even going to see $1 million in their lifetime, but that person is not being taught the same thing as that other person who has that government pension and has learned that they need to invest their money. They're not being taught the same thing.
They do
But
not.
let me ask you,
They
let
don't
me ask
invest
you,
their money.
let me ask
The
you.
government invests it, and it's run
It's
by
still
the
an
employees
investment.
themselves.
But it's still an investment.
And it's a
You have employee stock ownership programs. I've worked for a different couple of companies to understand that there's
I'm talking
different
about
ways.
the, okay, you're talking about private enterprise. I'm talking about the government.
I used
the
to work for the
government-
United States Postal Service.
Okay. And
So I'm familiar with pensions. I wasn't born this morning. I get it.
There's a bankrupt organization. There's another bankrupt
There's
organization.
quite a few bankrupt
And
organizations.
the cost of their services has gone from 3 cents to since I was collecting stamps in the 50s up to 49 cents today.
Correct.
And they're bankrupt. They can't. All they
Well,
can
the
do.
cost of
All
money
they can
has
do.
to go up because technology and email and the market is going to transition. It's going to transition over the next 20, 30 years. You might be able to say bye-bye to the post office because of email, the internet, and you can send things.
That's
This
right.
is the way the world works. You have to grow, progress. Some places will just completely go away because of new markets. But it's where are we getting into those new markets? Are we teaching our children, are the children in the neighborhood that won't make over $1 million? Are we teaching them coding? Are we teaching them things that have to do with technology where maybe if their mother is receiving government assistance at home, she still has that computer in the corner and she can go to that computer and make an income on that computer and without leaving her house? Are we teaching these things to the American people? No, but guess what? In China they are.
No, that's
In the Asian countries they are.
That's right.
You see?
Why don't they do that? They do that very simple because the government want to see you down so they can
Dependent.
control you.
They want you dependent.
Yeah, that's it. But my question.
Obama was running around recruiting people to be on all these welfare programs.
Yes, and the Obama phone, the Obamacare, and all that.
The more people you signed up, the more successful the program was. So that's why we now have 35% of people on food
But
stamps.
also the Obama phone, if everybody has a phone now, everybody can actually have a job and a way to make money. But are we being taught?
No,
That's not the point. Okay, here's the real point about.
I know.
I don't think you do.
I need to ask a
Okay,
question.
the Obama phone is just another redistribution of wealth. If you don't understand that, if you don't think that he's giving them something, if you don't think Medicaid, which is 1/3 of the domestic product of every state and including the nation, 1/3 of all the money that is collected goes to Medicaid. And you say, well, that's only a small dip in the bucket. You know what? It ain't no small dip in the bucket if it's consuming 1/3 of every budget that's in the United States for 50 states. So I don't think it's a drop in the bucket. And we don't have to pay that to foreigners who are not entitled to it because the very first.
Say what to foreigners?
What?
We're ripping off foreigners. We're ripping off every country in the world.
We're not ripping them. They're ripping us off.
No.
Are you serious? What are you kidding? You're telling me that $3.2 billion that the state of Nevada has to pay to the 596,000 people on Medicaid in this state is.
Those aren't foreigners. Those are Americans.
Yeah,
Those people are trained by our system. Those people are trained by our system. Here, go to the government and they'll take
You
care of it.
don't understand. You haven't
There's
seen the
they
application.
come over there with the baby coming out so they can collect welfare and they can collect hospital thing. Those people that coming over here illegally are the ones that are reaping the
Oh my
government.
gosh. Well, that's a minor.
No, it's not minor. It's not. It's 1/3 of domestic product
Everything is
of
minor?
50 states. Of 50 states.
Yeah.
1/3.
Yeah. But when we buy goods from China, we get 6 of the unit, the monetary unit of China. Instead of what we should be getting 4 or 3. And so every dollar that every product that China sells, they're getting ripped off. Half the money that's
You worry about China, we got laws everywhere.
We're doing that with every country in the world
Because
because we have the international exchange of money, and the money has to flow through the United States.
So what should we do?
all the money.
Well, what should the world do?
That
They
is my
should say the United
question.
States
That is my question.
go, get out of here.
I've been trying.
That's right. We're ripping off the world.
I've been trying to ask that question for the last 15 minutes. And I wanted to know because I'm stupid, I'm mentally retarded, you guys are intelligent.
Wait a minute.
Why don't the government, the people love so much, and they allow them to rip you up and control you from one part of your life to the other one? Why don't the government facilitate, give some encouragement to those business that are doing business in another country so they can come back?
They already, that's what, I think Trump put something in the order.
Yeah,
Like incentives for them to bring the businesses
Yeah.
back to America.
Yeah, but look at Walmart.
How do they do that?
Three
How do they do that?
three Walmart Q centers
How do
in
they do it?
Mexico
How do they do
in
that?
1 month. Three
Right.
Walmart.
Because you make money.
Good thing or a bad thing?
The Mexicans.
That's a good thing or a bad thing?
To me, it's a bad thing.
But if you don't want people running across the border, then you have to put something there so that they can.
Why? They got their own government. They left the government over there, but the government is the one that put them over here.
They're right
Because
next door
let
to us.
people,
That's
let
why
people.
exporting costs would go, importing costs would go down.
Yeah,
They're
sure.
right
They
next door.
probably got and coal and everything.
We can't just think. I know that we talked about becoming nationalists, but it would be smart for America because two-thirds of America, technically, I'm talking about among blacks, among Mexicans, among any other race other than the Caucasian.
What about Cubans?
That's two.
What about
Including Cubans, two-thirds are connected to the rest of the world by blood. I mean, right? So when you look at it, you're talking about people who live
You're
in.
talking about genome?
I'm talking about out of the population of 323 million, 2/3 of that are Mexicans, blacks. They're connected to the rest of the world. So even if you have
Everyone is connected.
no. But what I'm saying is, he's talking about why Walmart put three centers over in Mexico. If we don't want people to come across the border and be running because they believe that America is the land of opportunity, then you got to put something there to give those. You gotta
Nobody
let those
said we
people
wouldn't
work.
do that.
No, but he's saying this makes no sense. You know, to do that, and
Let
it
me
makes
tell you.
all of the sense. We're a global
Let
country.
me tell you something. Mexico is a very, very rich country. They are rich on a lot of things. The government is so corrupted that it's only one little click that you over there you are either rich or poor. There's no middle
This
class.
is the Spanish system.
No,
This was
we
the
have
Spanish.
we have three classifications in Cuba. We got the rich, the middle class, and the poor. We had that before. The
Mexico's developing.
You have to understand also that they get $1.98 an hour in Mexico, and over here they get $10 an hour just for cutting somebody's lawn or something. Guess what, folks? That's not fair. Mexico
What
needs
do
to
you
be
think up here?
It's not fair.
To who?
It's not fair that the Mexican government is starving their people, and we're paying
They're
the
not
price.
starving. It's the people that. It's the
You
people
think
that
they
have
were
the
run, you think if they were full and fat, they'd be running across the border?
Yeah, because they are very
There's nothing
nationalist.
wrong.
They love Mexico. They look when they protest. What do? They don't have the American flag. They got the Mexican flag.
They have the American and the Mexican
No,
flag. That's not
no, because the Tribune put it out there. Why do you gonna put the American and the Mexican flag? You protesting because you want to be here. Use the American flag, and that's the problem with them. That's the only reason that I'm against them. Because they come here, and they come here, they hate this country, they don't like this country, they abuse this country, and then they go back over there.
I think you're biased because not all Mexicans believe
Well, of
that.
course
Not all Mexicans, you're saying they, not all Mexicans believe that. I have quite a few Mexican friends, and some of them are very grateful to be in this country.
That's right.
We're not saying that it applies to everybody. Because
Of course not.
Good people and bad people, no matter what you go, including, 13 Mexican cartel or Mexican mafia, M13.
Yeah. Oh, that's Salvadorian.
What?
That's Salvadorian.
MS-13?
MS-13 is Salvador. El Salvador.
Salvadorian.
South America.
Yeah. Well, yes. It's Central America. It's not South
I know people that are Mexican that are in M13.
Okay, they can join. That's possible.
They enroll anybody.
But it's a Salvadorian gang, basically.
Yeah.
Propaganda?
No, it's a Salvadorian gang.
Well, I don't care where they came from.
Yeah.
What
makes a difference?
I don't care.
We got people in America
Okay.
killing people here.
Well, yes, we
I guess it's okay for Americans to kill
listen,
other Americans.
we can always justify any action, good or bad. If you look at the M13, you say, well, they're good people. Half a dozen of them are really good people, and only about half of them are bad.
Hey,
then why
Look
do
at the cause of that.
Let me
Look
tell
at
you
the cause. Because of the United States of
Let me
America,
tell you.
it went down there and started killing all the peasants and everyone and the priests and
The Americans
created
did
a
that?
war. Yeah, absolutely.
What?
Like in Nicaragua, Guatemala. Guatemala, 500,000 people have lost their life because of the invasion of the United States to overturn the government back in 1950.
No, that's true.
In El Salvador,
Okay.
we supported the military government in an attack on
You
the
don't
people.
even have to go out of the country to prove that because we killed 500 nations of people here. They're called Indians.
That's
Yeah.
right. We
Okay.
wiped those
So,
people
Let
out.
me tell you
We didn't
something.
wipe out
Let me
yet.
tell you.
We haven't wiped out the Salvadorians yet.
Let me tell
Believe
you.
me, we're on
Honey,
the
you
road.
won't get started with black people, so I'm just gonna let y'all have it.
Let me tell you something. The United States government, not the people of the United States, the United States government is famous for betraying their allies. They did it in Venezuela with Marcos Pérez Jiménez, and I know that very well because he was my friend. He was the president, graduated from, what do you call it?
Harvard.
I don't know, some American, speak English better than you, okay? He has businesses over here. They betray him so they can put Romulo Betancourt in there. Then he's a card-holding communist. And Panama, they use Noriega all they want until they decide to take it out and went there, kidnap him, and
Kill 10,000 people.
put him in jail for 30 years.
And put him in, it's so outrageous.
Okay? Then they got Batista in Cuba.
I think we're gonna have to begin to wrap it up. This is a great conversation. This is some history for me to learn.
Batista, the American ambassador, Batista used to have the government of Cuba under Batista have a very good relationship with this country. We got 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Very good relationship, socio-economical, cultural, everything else. Batista was named, whatever they call that, something, Palm Beach. They was in and out. I used to come here in the morning, go back at night. I never had an intention to be here. Never. I live very good in my country. But the United States took Batista out. Batista used to come here, buy some guns and ammunition to fight Fidel Castro. The United States sell those ammunition and those arms. And after they were ready to take it back to Cuba, they confiscated and give it to Fidel Castro by Guantanamo Bay.
Monica, you have one minute, and then you have the
No, that's fine.
All right, Monica said it.
You know, I would just ask you, is that the same thing like that $350 million arms deal that Trump did with the Saudi Arabia? Could the Saudi
$350 billion.
$billion deal? Is this the same type of? You say America's behavior is?
He said they allies, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I think so.
I just want to be clear if
Well, okay, well, in wrapping this thing up,
Yeah.
we're let me remind you that this is Radio Tribune here in Las Vegas, 9 at
Thank you,
717
for
South
allowing
9th
us
Street.
to.
And don't forget that the call-in number is 702-983-0711. This is Blue Laker, and as you can see, correspondent combat is interesting. And we're going to have to do it again because I think there's other people who would like to get your opinions and think about what you said, and maybe they'll call in and say, I don't like what Monica Lewinsky said. and the same thing with Lazarus. We've got to pay attention to Lazarus because after all, he came back from the dead.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't say thank you anymore because otherwise we're going to keep on the air.